Hello, my love. How are you?
Hi, I am doing well. It is snowing here in my area. Snow is here finally. We're in
Oh,
the south,
wow.
so it's here and we're just snuggled in. And my son is doing what he does best, playing video games.
Yeah, know it well in this household too. It's his favorite sport, basically. On this side of the world, it's rather hot, extremely humid at the moment, and we're just coming out of the school holidays, and my son will start back at year 6 next week.
Hi, lovely. I'm Dr. Ambra Brown.
And I'm Tash Alvaro. Welcome to Two Single Mums and a Donor Daddy.
Where two complete strangers are connected by choosing the same donor daddy. And now we're having real conversations about the journey to solo motherhood by choice.
And how to prepare for it mentally, physically, emotionally, and even intuitively while creating the path to motherhood on your terms. So, my gosh, his final year of primary school. It's a bit scary.
Year 6, so sixth grade, right? Is that what that is?
Yes, I know. So I'm just like, how does that work over there? So he's at the tail end of primary school. So before he starts high school. Yeah. Junior.
Oh, wow.
I think it'd be like junior high. I don't know how it would be. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I know he's a year older than my son. I thought he was in the 5th grade. So he's going, oh my gosh, so he's in the 6th grade.
He's going to the 6th grade. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'll have to look at that so I can understand how it is different to Australia, the format of schooling and the grades as well. So I can go, okay, he's now in junior year. Oh, I know it's so interesting because all I hear it is on movies. But sophomore, please correct me. Is that to do with college and university? Because I think that, no, see what I mean? Like, no idea.
So, like, it would make sense. I don't know. We do things different just because we want it to be different. So, 9th year is high schoolers. So that's freshman year of high school.
Got you. You break it up then. Okay. So, high school is from grade 9 for you guys.
Grade 9 through 12th.
Through 12 is high school. So, here in Australia, high school is grade 7 to grade 10. And then the college years is 11 and 12. So even though they're still part of the high school, it's classified as college. Whereas I think college for you guys is university. Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah. So university here is university. So it's like once they complete high school, it's really weird. And then they go into university.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it's high school, college is 11 and 12. That's how they kind of clarify it. And then university is once they finish school altogether and they go into university, if they choose to go to university. Yeah. I know, it's just like, it's different, but the same kind of a thing.
Right. Just language wording and labeling. Yeah. Interesting.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So, yes, I've got to get him a new school uniform because he's completely grown out of it. It's hilarious. He's like legs 11. The shorts are so tiny on him now. It's like, Mum, even my top looks like a midriff. And I was like, okay, it's been a few years.
No.
We need to update. So that's fine.
Yeah. No, I understand. Like, literally bought Ashton some clothes earlier. Well, it was like before, when the school year started. And now it's like, already short, like pant length is short. And I'm like, oh, it hasn't been that long, kiddo. But so now I've got to,
It's funny because same with pants with Zenon. And not that he really wears them here in Queensland because it's always quite warm. His whole life, he's always looked like he's ready for a flood, right? So because they're so short, like above the ankles. And I was like, hang on, we only bought them a couple of months ago and you've already like shot up. So he's not a very full boy. He's quite slender, but he's just length.
That's it.
I'm just like, oh my gosh. So I've really got to go up sizes, more to do with the length of everything than around the waist. So that's why I have to make sure with shorts or tracksuit pants.
Drawstrings.
Yes, exactly. It is a drawstring. It's like,
Yep.
yeah. Just to keep it on him. I was like, holy moly, do I have to get a belt or braces? You know how you have the good old braces that they would attach to keep him up. I was like,
oh my gosh. Yes, that's so funny.
Yeah. I don't have that problem.
Yes.
You can take off a lot of material and make extra clothing with the amount of length that's got to be taken off my pants and even long skirts. I was just like, I'm on the other end of the scale.
Oh.
For the height scale.
Oh my goodness.
But anyway, yeah, we're just getting organized for that. So, and that's it. But it's been not overly a busy week, but just things have been coming up and sort of working through and that kind of thing as well. What about yourself?
Yeah, it has been interesting. It's been pretty good. I've been pretty happy about how things are going with us as this podcast is going. But there's been some other things that have come up, and I won't go into detail. But if you all have been following me on Instagram, I haven't really talked too much about it, but Tesh knows. But there's just another situation where my mom has to go back in the hospital pretty soon. So that is a little challenging, but we're just praying that everything is going to go okay. So that we got that news, middle of the week. So we're just trying to wrap our hands around it again because it hadn't been that long since she had just gotten out. She had just gotten out right before Christmas, like the week before Christmas. And here we are again, barely. I mean, I know it's January, but she hasn't really settled that much in. Yeah, so it's just kind of been some interesting things, but we're all just trying to handle in stride and be as positive as possible. Just continue to pray for her and her peace of mind, because that takes a toll on her for sure. So
absolutely, to hear that news.
Yeah, overall we're hanging in there, just trying to enjoy the weather just the best we can while we're inside safe. So
yes, exactly, that's true.
Yeah, I first of all just want to say I'm so excited about this. If you hadn't listened, last episode we talked about this just briefly, about just choosing to become a single mom by choice or not. And there was someone that had mentioned that it made it seem like it was the only option now that all her other options were kind of like not there anymore. She wasn't happy about it. And so that just was a really good topic to talk about. And it just really brought some feelings within me and just feeling like, oh no, dear, like, you know, I hate that you feel that way. And I know that there's a lot of people who probably feel the way that she may feel or felt. I don't know when she mentioned this, but I just wanted to address it because I know that when I am answering DMs or having a discovery call with my clients, some of this kind of comes up along the way. And I do try to address it with them, whether it's through the discovery call or even the DM, or even when I am doing like the one-on-one coaching, we do talk about this and it's so important. And so I really wanted to talk about it on this episode because it's so many layers. And I thought that Tesh and I have just our expertise and life experience. I just thought this would be a really good way to tackle it here and provide some really helpful information and tools and strategies and awareness about this topic and how you can handle it if you are going through something like this or thinking about something like this person has felt and is dealing with. So I'm excited about talking about it with you all. But I think it's also important, too, that we work through that energy. So I'm going to have Tesh do some breath work, and that gets to allow her to do her specialty so you all know what she does so that you all can come to her if you ever have any questions about breath work. So we're going to tackle that and then get started on the conversation.
Absolutely. Yeah. And this is such an important conversation to have. And I just want to highlight my heart goes out to this woman with how she's feeling. Absolutely. And it's nothing to do with shaming or calling somebody out or anything. It's really taking note of how they're feeling about the whole situation. And so we just want to touch on this and the importance of feeling the way that this woman's actually feeling about this, looking into this journey of motherhood solo. But yes, I really wanted for us to get settled in because sometimes there is going to be topics that we're going to touch on that may feel heavy or may feel triggering or anything like that. And so I really want to bring to your attention just how important it is that if you feel this way with anything that we're discussing, please come back to your breath and breathe deeply. So if you are going to join us in breathing today, then I invite you to find a comfortable seated position, or if it's more comfortable for you to lie down, it's perfectly fine, because we just want to make sure that our spine is straight and that our airway is not blocked by any means. And if it feels comfortable for you, just really settling into that space, feeling the support underneath you. And if it's comfortable, you can either lower your gaze or close down your eyes. And all I want you to do right now is just become aware of your breath. Where do you feel your breath? You're not changing your breath pattern. You're just merely noticing where you feel it. Is it at the tip of your nose, the back of your throat, the top parts of your chest? Do you feel it in your belly? Do you feel it in your shoulders, your legs? Or do you feel it within your head? Just notice. And then I just want you to notice if you're feeling any tension within your body. And I want you to breathe into that space. So if you feel tension in your forehead, the back of your head, down into your neck, your shoulders, just really breathing into that space. And on the breath out, you're releasing that tension. I just want you to scan your body, wherever you feel it, just breathing into that space, knowing that you're so safe to be here right now, being fully supported. That's it. Now, with your breath, I want you to notice and be aware of it breathing at the tip of your nose, feeling that cool air when you breathe, and how the air changes on the exhale, the temperature, and it feels slightly warmer. Just breathing in and out at your pace. We're not changing the breath pattern. We're just going at your pace. Just noticing the temperature change. And I want you to notice how you feel the air in the bridge of your nose. So it goes from the tip to the bridge. Then we're going to notice that we go from the tip to the bridge to the back of our eyes. Following that breath, tip of your nose, bridge of your nose, back of your eyes. And then we're going to notice the tip, bridge, back of our eyes, now the back of our throat. Just following that pattern. Now we're going to follow it into the top of our chest, the bridge of our nose, back of our eyes, back of our throat, top of our lungs. Follow it in and out, noticing how our life force travels through our body. Now we're going to go tip of our nose, the bridge, back of the eyes, back of the throat, top of our lungs, into our belly. And follow that pattern in and out. We're not changing the breath pattern. We're just merely following our natural breath. And you becoming aware of how this energy flows through our body. How it nourishes us, how it expands through our body, how it makes us feel. Just noticing. Now I want you to add a smile to your face. It's like, how do I want to show up today? How do I want to feel today? How do I want to be today? And then we're just going to come back to the room, feeling the support underneath us, feeling the air on our skin, and slowly opening our eyes, taking in the shapes and the colors of the room. Welcome back. How do you feel?
I need a nap.
I love it. See, this is where your body says, I'm going to tell you exactly what you need right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is really an opportunity that we just let go of everything that's around us and have that opportunity to connect to our body. And I really love this practice. And I was taught this practice by, he's an incredible teacher. His name's Dan Brule. And I was like, it just really makes you aware of how our breath transpires through in and out of our body, because we breathe on a subconscious level, right? That's how we stay alive. However, we're not necessarily breathing properly. So when we bring the awareness to our breath and to our body, it really allows us to slow down and become connected to our breath. The breath is the bridge to our body, and it's really such a beautiful practice. So I'd really love to know in comments below how you found this practice as well. And also please reach out. I'd love to be in touch with you as well. So yes, it's one of my favorite practices and something that I try and teach my son as well when he's having a difficult time or just feeling unsettled. It's a great practice to do. Very simple, very quick as well. Yeah.
Perfect. That was good. Like, no, I'm trying to be awake now so that I can do this. But I'm like, I need a nap.
No.
Yes. So, okay. I definitely want to get into this because it could take us a moment. And so, because it's so much to unpack. And like Tesh said, that there's no judgment here. Mm-hmm. Whatever, like, this beautiful person is experiencing is her own, and it's valid for her and for anybody else who is going through this. So we're not belittling or anything like that. It's just, it was really important to talk about this because there are so many people, I'm sure, who may be thinking something like this or going through this or just having some even portion of those thought processes. And so I really want to tackle this because even I, have had some of these thoughts as well. So it's just so good to bring this to the forefront and be aware. And this is what's my love, because again, if you haven't yet, I really think it's so important from listening to our previous episode because we're bringing it back to like basics of knowing who you are, knowing your foundation, like who you are within yourself, so that you can make a very sound decision about what you want to do in regards to choosing how you want motherhood to look, what journey you want to take, what avenue you want to take. It's no right or wrong. It's just really making sure you don't feel rushed or be in a negative space when making the decision and removing all external pressures and viewpoints and doing what feels best to you. And that's just really getting to know yourself. And I will say too that we are not psychologists, your therapist either. No. So what we're saying is just based on like what we have lived through, but also for me as being a single mom by choice coach, it's what I do bring to the table with my clients. And when I'm doing discovery calls, I have talked about this. That's where I'm coming from. And so if this is something really deep with you, I suggest you go and you reach out to a therapist who can really unpack that more for you, because we can't do that for you. We're just simply giving you information that we have used to help guide us, but I know to help guide so many of my clients and even ones that are not my clients, like through discovery calls or even like direct messaging. I have kind of helped them, but I urge you to, if this is really triggering for you or if you're feeling like you need more assistance, please reach out to a therapist that's best for you to handle all the things that you're feeling. So I just wanted to put that out there before we go on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just first, where this came from was a post that was made. And also, I felt it was so good because I know that, again, plenty of people, women I have seen in the comments or have seen in a post or have seen based on direct messages. And I really wanted to highlight this. So I'm going to like kind of summarize this and not like read verbatim because I want to make sure that it's more broad than particularly towards this person. So basically, they were just saying that they really didn't want to be a single mom by choice at all. Did not want to be. I guess the way that we all have grown up to like think is that, you know, you go ahead and you get your guy, you get the person that you're supposed to have. You go ahead and you prioritize, you know, getting your education. And while you're getting your education, hopefully meet this person along the way. And then you eventually get married and then you have your kid or children. And so I feel as though in this particular situation, that is what was told by the mom. And it was embedded and ingrained in that. And then she followed the blueprint. And when it was time to be in a certain age, it was like there was no person in sight to get married to. And it was very disheartening, which I know it is because I too felt the same way, you know, of like, okay, this is what I was told to do. This is what's supposed to happen. You focus on your education. And that's what I did. I went out there and I got my psychology degree. And then I went into like physical therapy school where I got my doctorate degree. I got the house, you know, I had my dream job. The job was like 5 minutes from where I lived. And now it's time. Like, where is my person? I've been trying to date and nothing's happening. And now I'm in my mid-30s, close to my mid-30s, and nothing's happening. So I get that. So it's just, that's the way you're told to do the thing, this blueprint, and it doesn't work for you. So this particular situation felt like, should I have even done this? You know, should I have even followed this? So I just focused first on just finding my person and then did all the other things, you know, or just should have been this. And then now that this person is in their mid 40s or in their 40s, it's like, I don't have anything. I don't have any other options now. I don't have a husband. I'm not dating anybody. So my other option now is to just be a single mom because I don't want to be childless. It's either being childless or being a single mom. And I really don't want to be that. And it's okay. But the thing was, I really believe in having a father in my child's life. If I do this, I think it's something that should be important and it needs to happen. And that they particularly felt like this world is cruel when you are a single parent or a single mom, and life would be so much easier if I had a mate, a partner in my life. And that's kind of like the gist of the whole thing. And like I said, like I really felt as though there was so many things, and I just wanted to like really like hug this person, be like, it's gonna be okay. And I don't want you to feel like this because it doesn't have to be, but I'm sad that you do feel this way. And so I really wanted to unpack this with you, Tesh, and kind of not go like line, but kind of just kind of talk about it and provide some insight and perspective. And also, again, between the two of us, like our lived experiences with maybe us feeling similar in some aspects to what this particular person felt. And I'm sure many other women who are feeling this or have felt this. I want to pause for just a moment, because if any part of this conversation is resonating with you, I want you to know you're not alone. I'm currently building a mini course called Ready from Within, designed to help women slow down, reflect, and reconnect with themselves as they consider or even navigate solo motherhood. This isn't about rushing a decision. It's about building a strong inner foundation so you can trust yourself through the good, the hard, and everything in between. I've opened up a waitlist so you can be the first to know when it's ready. The link is in the show notes. And so I first wanted to kind of tackle the line where it was mentioned, I don't want to be a single mom, which was like, ooh, well, that's okay. You don't have to be a single mom. You don't have to choose to be a single mom by choice. That's something that you don't have to be. And that's okay. But I do feel like many people where I have done the direct messaging with people and they've said, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be a single mom. I want to wait for my person. And I'm like, oh, that's quite all right. You can definitely wait for your person. But then you want to figure out like, how long do you want to wait? Like, what is your strongest desires? How long do you want to wait to become a mom? And well, how long do you want to wait for the person to come into your life and then start a family? Because you can do that, but you really got to figure out like, how is that going to impact you and how do you feel about that? And what's the time frame? Because it's not just waiting for your person, but also the biology of it all too plays a factor too. And so you have in your right to do those things and wait. You just got to kind of think about it, weigh your pros and cons. How do you feel about it if you make this decision? And I generally sit down and have a conversation of like, lay out your pros if you choose to wait for your partner, and then lay out your cons if you decide that what happens and you wait. What would it look like if you do wait? But also the pros and cons of if you move forward, choosing to be a single mom by choice or some other avenue, like just figuring that out, laying that out and sitting with it and knowing how do you feel when those things come up when you're weighing the pros and cons. So that's what I usually kind of start out with when someone kind of feels that way. You know what I mean? So What is your thoughts, Tesh, on that particular line?
Yeah, I feel very similar. And like we said, it's like my heart really goes out to this woman and how she's feeling. And I can really pick up on the frustration of it all. And as we were saying, it's like, as she said, she doesn't want to become a single mother. And I completely understand that. And as you pointed out, it's like, well, okay, so if that's the case and you really want to wait for your partner, all right, so what are you doing? Are you actively dating? Are you putting yourself in a headspace? It's like, okay, well, I'm going to give myself, say, the next 2 years and dedicate that time to really dating. And if I am with someone, to spend that quality time with them. Do I then have open conversations with that man that this is my desire to be a mother? Are we on the same page with about having children as well? There's so much to dissect here. So like you said, it's like, okay, well, how long do I wait for, right? And then am I okay? It's also being at peace with that. It's like, all right, if I really want a partner in my life, how much time am I actually going to dedicate to that? Am I also then, because with women, we have to then, especially when we're in our 40s, yes, we've really got to consider our biological clock. So it's like, okay, am I going into the dating pool with this added pressure that I'm on a time schedule here? So then it's like, how am I then showing up in the dating world without pushing that pressure onto a potential partner, right?
Yeah.
And I remember myself when I was kind of at that threshold for myself, I was actively in the dating world, but I had this strong desire to be a mother. And those thoughts arose for me. It's like, well, hang on a second. How do I say to this man that I really desire to be a mother, and the time frame I'm looking at is this particular time frame? So I could just imagine it's like, either am I going into this relationship for the right reason? Are they then going to feel pressure that they have to deliver, or they're just going to go, bye, right?
Right.
So
Right.
there is so many layers to it. And it's not easy. It's really not easy. So everything that she's bringing up is absolutely valid. It's so valid. And like I said, I can feel the frustration and the pain that she's been dating. She hasn't been able to find a potential partner. And the way it's coming up for her, it's almost like her back is against the wall because of the age bracket that she's sitting in as well. And she's like, well, clearly the only choice I do have is to be a single mum by choice, even though it's actually not my choice. So, and I'm just like, oh, okay. So this is where I feel this woman really does need a great deal of support and understanding, and definitely to speak to someone professional in regards to everything that's coming up for her right now. Absolutely, because it's so valid. Because like both you and I know, diving into and the decision that we made, it was very clear and concise that we were ready and happy to make that decision. We were at like, yes, this is definitely my calling. I'm comfortable with being a single mum by choice. I'm happy to be a single mum by choice. It doesn't mean that I don't want a relationship. Absolutely, I do. Of course I do. However, it's just like at this time in my life, this is something that's really valid and important to me. And that was the real strong pull for myself, was like, I'm so ready to be a mum. And if it's going to be the fact that I'm doing it on my own, I'm okay with that. I'm still going to meet a man in my life. Absolutely. It's just going to be now after the fact that I have a child. Absolutely.
Yeah, I will share a personal experience I do have, and I completely get it. So I will say that I was dating while I was having this decision of I want to be a mom. And I was dating and I did meet someone. And I did. And ironically, I knew this person. We went to school together, but we never really talked or anything like that. But I met this person where I lived just by circumstances, just situations that occurred that our worlds collided. But I knew, okay, like I was kind of on the cusp of like, I'm going to probably move forward with this. And so as we began to just talk, and I felt like we were going to start really dating, and I was very open. I was like, listen, I want to be a mom. And I'm thinking about doing this. I'm thinking about becoming a mom through donor conception. And I'm letting you know so that, you can make the decision if you want to continue dating me. Because it wasn't fair to put that like pressure because I just met the person, and it wasn't fair to be like, okay, I'm on a time clock. So either you can help me or I can do this thing,
Right.
It wasn't fair, but I wanted to be open and honest.
Correct.
And so the person I was seeing was trying to figure it out, if that's what I want to do or not. And no matter what this person felt like, I was open, and whether this person wanted to move forward and be okay with that or not, I was open and honest. And I was going to move forward with it. And so I'm just saying, like, there are options, but if you decide to date or meet someone, making sure that you're not putting pressure on this person to hurry up and let's get married or hurry up and let's date, and you're looking to be able to start a family quickly when this person may not want to right away. Maybe they don't want kids. Maybe they have already had kids and they're done with kids, or whatever it may be. It's just open and honest to share your thoughts about this and not have that unspoken pressure to this other person and they don't know what's going on. Like, that just puts a lot of tension on the situation, but also pressure on you. And it's not fair to the both of you. So just really sitting with yourself and figuring out, okay, if I don't want to be a single mom by choice or single mom, what does that look like for me? And like you said, Tash, just being more intentional, being actionable. Like, what are you doing to be able to focus on being your person? That's the point. And if you have done all of that and you're tired of that because you're tired of the game, which I think was mentioned in the post, the game of trying to meet someone, then that's when you got to sit down and say, okay, you're tired of being in the game. So what are my other options? And if being a single mom by choice doesn't feel good to you, then again, you don't have to choose this route at all.
That's right.
And I don't want you to feel like you're stranded about either or, but you've got to sit with it and be okay with whatever decision that you make. That's the most important part. But I think, like you said, Tash, you really have to like unpack all that you're feeling, because there sounds like too, like it was mentioned that it was kind of like with a lot of us taught to like, this is what's supposed to go down. Like, this is what's supposed to happen. This is the blueprint. This is the plan. And now that the plan is not what you thought, it's really walked your world. And so you really have to sit down and figure out something different for yourself. What does that look like? And I think that expressing those thoughts and the shame possibly, or the guilt, or like, should have done this. I should have maybe not listened to my mom or other people. I should have maybe not focused on getting this job first. Maybe it should have been more dating first. Whatever the case may be, unpacking that with a therapist is really going to help you make the best decision for yourself and not feel guilty or shameful for whatever decision that you make. So I think that's really ideal for anybody who's going through this type of thought process or just feeling like their back is against the wall and they're just like closing their eyes and like, I'll just choose this, And,
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I got that one. Absolutely. I think it's really important is you have to sit down. And I really loved how you were so open when you were actively dating. You were dating a man and you were so open, whereas I was not brave enough to actually bring that forward. It's funny because I think I had already subconsciously made the decision that I wanted to be a mum. I wasn't really putting in a great deal of effort when I was actively dating. Like I was meeting men, but it wasn't really like a follow-up or go for a second date or anything like that. So I was just like, no, I've actually made the decision of this is the path I wanted to do. But I was like, do I still actively date? But I think that's such a beautiful way to do it. It's like, okay, being with yourself, and especially with what this woman is going through, definitely speak to a professional and unpack what's there for them. But look at ways of like, okay, I really do want to have a partner in my life. I would like to be with a partner, to get married and to have children. If that is something that you're really drawn to, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's not like it's a plan B, but it's also, okay, if this actually doesn't come to fruition and I do still feel within myself that I want to be a mother, what is that going to look like? What is that pathway going to look like? How can I then be at peace with two of them running at the same time? So like what you were doing, and I think it's so beautiful. And if I was to do it all over again, I would be very, very open and just say, hey, just letting you know, I really want to be a mum. I'm not trying to put any pressure on you at all. I am looking at sort of donor conception. This is the option I'm looking at taking. But you're also being open to the fact it's like, I really want to get to know you. I want to spend quality time with you and be in the dating world if you still want to do that. But I think as well, it takes that pressure off yourself. It's also taking that pressure off a potential partner. It's like, okay, we're getting to know each other. She is still really comfortable if things don't work out with us or in the dating world. This is still her path that she's going to take. And again, that's if you are open to that. So this is really where you have the opportunity to, and like you were saying with the work that you do and the questions that you ask, these are so valid and so important because you're going to have women going, I actually don't know if this becoming a single mum by choice is the path I want to take. And that's totally fine. No one should be guilt tripping you into becoming a mother, or they've gone, like we said before, our life blueprint, right? Like that's what I said to my mum. I was like, I know that my book of life didn't go according to your plan. It doesn't mean that it's wrong. And it's like, yes, it's been the way we've been raised of how we've watched cartoons and movies. It's like you meet the man of your dreams, you fall in love, you get married. It's like, yeah, but is that really for everyone? And it may not be the case, and it's okay. So it's like, where can you get to a point where you make peace within yourself and you're not making a decision based on frustration, resentment, anger, like your back's against the wall. It's like, well, clearly I don't have a choice. You actually do. You always have a choice. It's how can we work on removing this pressure that we're putting on ourselves of whether we're wanting to find a life partner, get married, have children, or it's like, well, I'm kind of sick and tired of the dating world. Maybe I will follow the path of having a child on my own. Can I do it on my own? The pressure. And then as she had brought up, like, yes, sometimes the world can be cruel to single mothers. And from a single mother's point of view, Yes, it can be extremely challenging. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I think it's also got a lot to do because there's women out there that were thrown into single motherhood and they were in a relationship. They had no choice whether their partner and the father of their children ended up leaving. They didn't have a choice in that matter, but they make it work. So it's really how you've got to look at it. It's like you can look at this path in a real negative way, or you can look at it like, okay, well, what are the opportunities for me as well?
Yeah.
So you always
Yeah.
have a choice. Absolutely.
Right. This actually is a little segue into, well, just to mention that like everything that you said, I actually talk about this in my digital course. It's called Ready from Within, which really talks about building the basis of your foundation of knowing who you are as a person and getting really open and honest with yourself and giving yourself space to really think about what you want and being able to be calm and open and gentle with yourself so that you can make the best decision for yourself. It allows you to remove all the frustrations and anger and guilt, or at least uncover those things and really be aware of who you are and reflecting on those things and figuring out where all this is coming from so that you can be open with yourself and say, you know what? I don't really feel good about being a single mom, but it doesn't sit well with me. So this is what I'm going to do. Or, you know what? This does feel really good to me. Thinking about being a single mom by choice is a great path for me, and I'm going to move forward with that. And so this course that I offer really tackles that and then makes you feel not pressured to make a decision based on outside circumstances or internal combat inside. So internal
conflicts.
issues. Yes, internal conflicts. It just allows you to be open and honest with yourself without judgment to be able to make the best decision for you. And so I think that's important. And you mentioned too about just how people view women who are in the single mom space. And you're right. Like there are a lot of people who did not, well, they were with someone, they were married or they were dating or were in a relationship somehow and things just didn't work out. And now they are single, or they are married and they got divorced and they never had a kid, but now they want a kid. So now they're going to be a single mom by choice. Or unfortunately, some things happen too, where I've mentioned this in my own YouTube channel, but like there's other avenues of where you are in a relationship and sometimes unexpectedly someone passes away, like your significant other passes away, and now you still want to be a mom, but you don't want to date. So now you're choosing that option. So there's so many things that causes you to be a single parent, whether it's by choice or not. But it's true. We all come to terms with that and what feels good, and you move forward. Just like with us, like, yes, we are both women who are single and do have a beautiful child. But at the same time, we still want to have that partner. You know, right now I am kind of in that field of like, I'm kind of dipping my toes back into like that dating world. But it was not in the order that I thought it would be. And that's okay. We both come to the decision that we're going to get what we want. It may not just be what we thought it was going to be.
In the plan, the life plan, right? The blueprint. And it's so funny. And it's so funny that you say that because I have a friend of mine that is staying with me for a couple of days and we started talking about dating. And I was like, I'm contemplating because I kind of made a vow to myself last year that I wasn't going to go back on dating apps. I was literally getting nowhere. I found it very frustrating. I even couldn't get past the text messaging, like even a phone call, it just wasn't happening. And so we were looking at different types of dating apps as well. And I was like about to download one and I was like, no, not yet. And so I'm like, okay, well, what's other avenues I can try? So it's like, yes, I'm at that point now in my life. It's like, I know I'm ready that I would like to meet someone. Okay, do I go down the dating app or side of things? I don't have a great social life. So I was like, okay, do I start going to speed dating things? And so it's all these different options that are available to you. And it's like, again, it's sitting with it going, well, what am I comfortable doing right now and being? So it's like sometimes we have to also get to a point, I need to be comfortable being uncomfortable and stretching ourselves and putting ourselves out there and those sorts of things too. Because I think as well, I'm not sure how you felt about it, but for a while there, I was like, I don't know how I feel about getting into the dating world and then telling people that I'm a single mum by choice. And what does that look like? And how does that? And I was too much in my head worrying about their perception of me. Whereas now I'm like, no, I'm extremely happy with the decision that I made. Not that I was ever ashamed of the decision that I made, but I think it was like I was trying to perceive how a man would view that. And now I'm just out of space where I was like, I really don't care how you view it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm just down to the point to like, if being back out there, it's like, this is what it is. And you can make the decision if you want to date me, with knowing that I have a child and this is the route I chose, or you don't. And you're doing me a favor if you don't, because we weren't meant to be.
It's like, exactly.
We weren't meant to.
You weed them out through that way as well.
Which is great. That's the beauty of those things too, right? Because you don't have to play those games anymore. You're like, I don't have time for this. Like, you either like me or you don't.
You want to get to know me. This is who I am. This is my family.
Exactly.
And so you have, like, I do remember, and this was many, many years ago, that I had a man say to me, it's like, oh, basically you're trying to find a father for your son. And I was like, I beg your pardon? No. And I was like, I'm actually glad he brought that up, because then I could see how he viewed this and how he thought there was going to be this expectation of him. I was like, no, my father and my brother are incredible male role models for my son. I have wonderful male role models. What I'm looking for is a man who is going to love me and love my son as his own and be a healthy, wonderful role model for my son. I'm not saying, hey, are you going to be my son's new daddy? That doesn't sit well with me at all. So it's like, so again, it's really weeding them out. Sometimes they will bring it up and you're like, thank you. I appreciate that, because you've shown me exactly how you're feeling. It's valid. It's not a problem. But you and I, we're not going to gel at all if that's the way you, right? So that helps too. Yeah.
And that actually brings us to the last point here that, kind of the last one that was made was that she preferred to have a father figure for her child, which is totally fine. I know that you and I, we both have a father and a brother. And of course, like, my nephews are great role models for like my son. But again, it goes back to like, yes, it's good to have those father figures, but let's not force that. Like, let's not force a man to do that job for the child, because it's supposed to be like a man and a woman together, and you can't raise a child without having a father. I'm not saying that you can't, but it doesn't say that you can't either. I mean,
100%.
People have done that. People who have children and no longer have a husband, or the man is not in their life, they're still raising beautiful kids and doing great job.
Absolutely.
And they have like figures that helped shape their child too. So even if you don't have necessarily within like the dynamic of like your family household or your family, like, makeup, like if you don't have a brother or nephews or grandparents or whatever, there's always going to be someone, maybe a pastor that's really good. Maybe there's like a boys and girls club and then the model is like a male mentor. There's so many options here to be able to have that father figure in that child's life, whether your child is a boy or a girl, it doesn't really matter. But even if you don't, there's so many great people that you can bring your children around or your child around to be the best little human being possible. So it's possible to have a beautiful kid and succeed and they'll blossoming, and being the best person that they can be, whether a male figure's in their life or not, or even if there's a partner in the relationship or not. You know what I mean? I just feel it's all possible because people do it all the time. All the time.
Yes, 100%. And absolutely. And even when, our children play sports, and my son had such a marvelous soccer coach last year. He was a young man, and how he was with all the boys. They had such a great relationship. He was firm, he was respectful, he was fun, and he actually really brought out the best in every single one of those kids. And like the way he would speak with my son, like, yes, there was times where he had to be firm with him and call him out on things he was doing wrong. But then he also celebrated him when he did amazing things too. So there was that really beautiful balance there. And I admired him. And as I said, he was a young man. He was in his like sort of early 20s. And I was just like really powerful. And it just had such a beautiful influence on my son. And so, like, just remember that. There's always that saying, like, it takes a village to raise a child. If you are in a relationship, it does take a village. And my own personal journey, and I'll get into that down the line in our episodes, but I know of family members and I know of friends that are in marriages and they feel like they're a single mother anyway because their partner's not doing anything. They literally do not help with the children. Because they look at it, the way they were raised was like the woman does everything for the children.
Yep.
Right? It's like, oh, I just go and work and bring in the income. But it's like they also forget that in this day and age, women do work as well. And then they're expected to run the household and then organize the children. So even the dynamics there is not balanced. So that's what I'm saying. You've really got to look at all of this. Even though you may be in a relationship, you may be married and you want a partner to have children with, it's like, how are the dynamics there as well? So yes, there's so much to unpack here. There's so much we could do episode after episode just on this topic alone.
Yes. And I'm sure we will. And you know what? It'd be great. We probably will put a pin in that one and maybe even find someone to talk to who has more experience and like maybe like a therapist or something like that to be able to give more insight on that, or even like a marriage counselor or something who can have more insight on that. So we'll definitely revisit this because there's so much going on that's real and valid that all of us have probably thought about at one point or another or are still going through it. And again, like I said, like all the things that she experienced or is experiencing, I mean, it's all valid and okay.
Absolutely.
But there should never be any disdain for choosing to be a single mom by choice. There should never be any, negative feelings behind these. It shouldn't be a negative thing. It should be a joyful experience. And so it's just a matter of choosing what fits for you and feeling good about it. That's the bottom line, is choosing the path that feels good to you and never having any resentment or regret about it. It's just being able to go with what feels good and how to navigate that. Because any choice that you make, there's going to be twists and turns. It's how you choose to go through that and having the right tools and strategies and support to be able to go through whatever journey that you choose to do as far as when it comes to motherhood. And so this was really good. I normally we give like prompts or assistance along the way, some action steps, but we were doing it on a kind of like in throughout the episode. So I would just say that again, just really sitting down with yourself and really figuring out like what you really want, what feels really good to you. Again, I'm so passionate about journaling, but if you don't want to do that, definitely like talk it out with someone that you trust and have them be open-minded, not give their 2 cents, but just listen.
I agree with that because
because we don't want any biased opinions because that comes up. So
yes.
But just sitting with yourself and really knowing, like, in your heart of heart, go back to intuition, like your inner self knows and it'll direct you in the right path. It really will. If you really get to know who you are, you will make the right decision for yourself.
And that's why I think spending that quality time with yourself, sort of escaping the outside influence and noise that you feel that has influenced you over your lifetime, which is understandable. And like, I just want to touch on what Amber said, is like writing down even the pros and cons of what each pathway is going to look for you and how do you feel with that. And this is why, as we were saying, getting really in touch with your intuition, your inner knowing, you have the answers. So this is why I do what I do with breath work, because it allows you to drop out of our monkey mind where it's going 100 miles an hour with all the questions and the information that we've received, and then allowing ourselves to drop into our body to connect with those emotions that are coming up with all of that. Like, so with this woman in particular, I'm really picking up there's frustration and anger and almost like despair. And it's just like having the opportunity to really connect to those feelings, definitely speaking to a therapist on this and writing it out, getting it all out and seeing what comes up for you and how you're feeling afterwards when you have it on paper. Because sometimes when it's all up in here, it can make it feel so, it can really make it quite overwhelming for you. So if you start getting it out on paper and really writing it out, or you're speaking to someone that you know is going to be just neutral ground, right? So they're just going to be there to listen and allow you to speak from the heart, from your truth, exactly how you're feeling about all of it, because what you're feeling is extremely valid. It's all valid. The confusion, the excitement, the despair, the frustration, all of it is completely valid.
Yeah. And if you don't know where to start, or if you're not a big fan of like opening up your journal and just trying to pour it out, then like, again, I have a workbook that's Ready from Within workbook that gives like prompts that allows you to kind of think those things through. And so you can always just click the link down below and you can go ahead and take the course. It's really, really good. It helps you to reflect and be aware of who you are and gives you great prompts to kind of be honest and open with yourself and make the right decisions that feel good to you. So I agree with just being able to talk it out some way or form, or writing it out to make the best decisions for yourself. So yeah, that's pretty good. That's a lot. And we'll probably touch on something like this a little bit later too, especially with the dating situation. And there's just so much that we can get into, but we'll have to save all of that for another time for sure.
Because I know we could keep talking.
And we want to like get your thoughts. So comment below, like, have you ever felt this way before? Do you know someone that felt this way before? What's your thoughts? If someone that you knew handled it, or how should this person handle this? Just what like to hear from you so that we can kind of respond back. And, you know, you're part of this community, so we value everything that you bring to the table as well. So please comment below. And also, yeah, follow us here and follow us on YouTube, because we can see our beautiful faces on YouTube. And you can catch us on our Instagram and Facebook social media platforms. And what else am I missing, Tash? Is anything else?
No, I think you've really covered everything. But like, please don't be afraid to ask us questions as well. So if you're curious about, you know, wanting to know more about our journeys or anything like that, please reach out. Or if you want to touch on more on what Amber brings to the table in becoming a single mum by choice coach, or with myself in regards to breath work, please reach out. If you have any questions, please, you can either reach out to us on social media or add them in the comments. We really love to interact with all of you and would love to know more about you as well. Absolutely. Yeah, you can email us at the Two Single Moms and Donor Dad email, or, you know, you can definitely address us separately. But either way, we'll get back to you. Absolutely. Yes. No, this has been a great conversation. Really has. Yep. All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your day and have a great rest of the week for you. Thanks. Likewise, my love. All the best. Thanks, guys, for joining us today. Bye.